Natasha, and welcome back to the NSC Study Break. And I'm here with our guest star, Natasha. So she's actually a former NSC student who actually went to our host campus, Alabama State University, last fall. And Natasha, hey, can you tell us, where you're from, what's your major, what school you went to, what year you in?
So I went to University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. I'm from Minnesota, New Hope Crystal, small suburb out of the Twin Cities. I majored in sociology of law, criminology, and deviance with a minor in African and African American studies. And I graduated this past May, so I got that degree.
One degree hotter. Okay. So tell me, what made you, how did you learn about the NSC program?
I think I learned about the NSC program because I'd gone on this trip with one of our local organizations down south to Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Louisiana, and I was like, I want to go to an HBCU. No one ever talked about HBCUs when I was growing up, and I was like, I'm kind of tired of going to predominantly white institutions. So I was like, how do I do this? Can I do this? And I was talking to my my major person, forgot what they're called.
The chairperson?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, National Student Exchange. And I'm like, oh, bet. I'll sign me up. What are my options?
Okay. So if you would have learned about the NSC program earlier, would you have transferred if you could have?
Okay, that's tricky. I don't think I would have transferred because I love my home university and all the things that they have to offer as far as coursework goes. But I feel like I definitely would have, if I had learned about it earlier, I would have gone to Alabama State, and then I would have gone to another HBCU too.
Oh, so we just doubling up in the NSC program.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I went so late in the game that I couldn't even stay a full year because my home university requires me to finish my last semester at home. I mean, COVID, but...
Okay, no problem. So actually, what were your top 3 choices when you were doing the NSC program?
My top 3 choices were Alabama State, Tuskegee, and then I think North Carolina Central.
So you just wanted to come down south. You just wanted to go to HBCU. You didn't think of anywhere else to go. It was just between those states.
Well, it was mostly I wanted to go to Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Texas was an option, but then I also had to take and consider what is going to align with my major, and those 3 schools had specific specialties that they aligned with my major and my minor.
Oh, okay. So what were your favorite parts of the exchange?
Honestly, my favorite part about the exchange was, the food. Not on campus, but off and on campus, because
Fried Chicken Wednesdays.
So much better seasoned than Minnesota. But honestly, living on a smaller campus, my campus holds 30,000 people, 40,000 people. I mean, our enrollment's 50. So living on a campus where on campus there's at most 2,000 students that live there, you see the same people every single day. It's so much easier to make friends and have connections and just go places. Literally walking to class, 2 minutes, walk to the library, 2 minutes, walk to the cafeteria, 2 minutes. Everything was 2 minutes.
We just came out the door.
Not 20.
Right there.
Yeah.
So what were some things that actually surprised you going to Alabama State University versus coming from your university?
So I go to a very big public school. And while Alabama State is a public school, and it's in the South, there's religion that are around a lot of our events. So praying before our events, praying after our events, discussing the Lord and God, Jesus, that was not something that I was used to. And I don't have an issue with it. I'm just so used to people not talking about Christianity so often and involving it within our activities. It kind of shook me the first time. I was like, oh, we're praying right now.
Very true.
Sounds good. But also I think it really like but my home school offered a lot of events, which was great. But I feel like at Alabama State University, they were a lot more accessible because everything was such a small campus. So you could go to an organizational meeting, and you could go to a basketball game, and then you could hang out with your friends all within like 4 hours.
That's very true.
And I just feel like I was so much more engaged with the school activities and events that they hosted at Alabama State than I was ever at my school. I would go to like big forums at my school, but at Alabama State, I feel like if I saw something, they're like, hey, this is going on tonight, I'd be like, okay, cool, I got 30 minutes, let's go.
Oh, okay. So, what were like your favorite like campus traditions at Alabama State University?
Ooh. I know it's not like necessarily, I guess it's a tradition, but Labor Day Classic, that was
Oh, the
popping.
football games.
That was popping. All the like get-togethers before the parties that weekend, but then the game. Like I've never been to an HBCU game. It was so great. Um, that was probably one of my favorite things. And some of these, I guess, like they're not big traditions, but just like the sense of the sororities and fraternities on camp and like seeing them, or like some of them did like volunteer opportunities, and just like they hosted like barbecues in the quad. I'm just like, okay, I'm down for free food. So I guess it's just like the sense of like having a community and a family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like necessarily like one specific tradition that we had. It was just like when we do things, we do it together.
That's very true. And how did the people differ from like Minnesota? From your campus.
Besides racially, it was a whole flip flop. I think it was a lot easier to make friends at Alabama State. I feel as if when at my homeschool, like you can make friends by like engaging in classes, I guess, or going to football games, but I don't know, just the culture was so much different. You like if people were so nice, they say, hey, like ask you how you're doing. Like people in
Very
Minnesota
true.
don't ask you that when they pass you. We don't make eye contact. People at Alabama State make eye contact. Make sure we're all good. It was a whole different environment.
Wow. It was cause like when I just met you, I was just like, yeah, and it was like, oh, it's Natasha from when Dr. Wynn said there's Natasha from Minnesota, and I was like, I'm Natasha too. So actually, what was a challenge you had to overcome while being at your host institution?
Roommates. I mean, like I've lived with people in the same like I lived in a 4-bedroom apartment before I went down there, so I know what it's like to have roommates in that sense. But I think just living in a freshman dorm with so many rules and regulations as a 21-year-old who's about to graduate, I was like, why do I have a roommate? Why are we all so close to each other? Why do we all share a bathroom? Why do they check my room every day?
Right.
And there was just so much. And then, you know, visitation. That was probably my, like, I don't have anybody over, but like the fact that they put on a strict regulation, like you can't have people sleep over. People can only visit you from noon to midnight, and they can take it away and not tell you why.
Yeah. Oh.
I was like, I'm a grown ass woman. Why are you doing this to me?
Oh,
So that was probably like my biggest adjustment, was like just trying to adjust to a new living space. I'm not used to living with 5 other girls sharing one bathroom, making sure people take care of themselves. They're clean. We don't like mess up with any of the rules, but having people tell me when I can have friends over. So yeah.
That's very true. The freshman dorm was pretty tough living there. It was.
Yeah,
like,
and it's fun, It's just a lot. I know what it's like to have my own space. So I know it's a lot more fun to have my own space. But also, like, I learned a lot from it at the same time because I learned how to live with people. Before I like kind of knew how to live with people, but it wasn't such like close interactions all the time. And
Definitely.
I feel like I had to learn how to deal with other people living certain ways. Like some people like to leave their toothpaste out. Gonna have to live with that. Some people like to just be messy. I'm gonna have to live with that or learn how to communicate or just do it for them. Um, Problem solving. I learned a lot of problem solving.
Okay. So, given that, well, outside of like Alabama State University, it's in the middle of a historic town. What was that like? Like, how did you see the attractions in Montgomery, Alabama? Like the new Rosa Parks statue. What did you do outside of ASU?
I honestly didn't go to the main attractions that were at Alabama, like around Montgomery. I try to look for some things that like I would be attracted to. Of course, I went to the museum, and the national like monuments that they have downtown. But besides that, like I went to like the orchestra one time, and I would go and find random parks to just hang out at because I wanted to be off campus, but like that's something that I do at home. And so I feel like there's a lot to do around Montgomery. You just have to figure out like what you like to do.
That's very, very true. And another thing, I had to bring this up. What was the weather like?
Oh my God,
How
I
is
loved
it
it.
different?
I loved it. I loved
Like,
every moment.
that
'Cause
Alabama heat hits on certain
I mean,
days.
I'm definitely an outdoor person. So trying to adjust to 95 and sunny, which means 110 and sunny every single day for 2 months. It didn't rain for 2 months. Two
It's very
months.
true.
And so having to adjust to that, like I didn't wear pants for too much. I wore shorts or dresses or skirts. I never wore a long sleeve t-shirt. But the nice thing, it was 80 degrees at night. So like,
That's very true. It was 111 degrees like one day, and then it just dropped. I was like, oh, okay, I like this.
okay.
But it was very, very hot.
But I love the sense of it always feeling like summer, even though it was November.
That's very true. Their
Because
winter
right
is
now,
late.
like Minnesota right now, it's like 60. And it's August. I bet you it's like 95 and sunny in Alabama right now.
That's very true. That's very
Yeah,
true. So my next question actually is, if you had to do NSC all over again, would you choose an HBCU?
100%. If I had to do college all over again, I'd choose an HBCU.
I felt that. And what advice could you give to like any students coming wanting to apply for the NSC program?
Make sure you're okay with long distance from your family. That is straight up facts. Because I know if you're in NSC and you've already completed 1 or 2 years at your college, be okay that you're gonna be away from your family and friends for 4 months. Also accept the fact that it's like starting college all over again, but as a freshman, but you're not a freshman. But like
Yes.
patience, open mind, like you're gonna go to a different environment for a reason. Have an open mind. Don't compare it to your last one. If you're compare it, be like, this one's better than my host, like than my home. Like, don't like always put your host campus like at the top because it'll always like open up things for you. I There were so many things that I got connected to at Alabama State and I would never have realized that. Um, but also make sure the place you go is a place you can live for 4 months. There's a reason I chose Alabama State because it's warm. I don't want to choose Maryland. It might get cold. I don't want to be in the cold.
Very
Or
true.
like make sure like if you're going to like Hawaii, like are you okay with being in a tropical place where you can't really like leave the island if you need to? Um, just factor in those things, but honestly be optimistic about it and be secure in your choice. Because for a while, like Alabama State was not my number one choice. It was, I think Tuskegee was, but then I realized that Alabama had a lot more to offer for me. And it seemed like it was a lot, like Tuskegee's in the middle of nowhere. Alabama is around a whole city. You got to weigh the options of where it is too. Location.
And we were like 2 hours from Atlanta, and we could be able to travel wherever we want to.
Right? Flew out like 3 times.
One of them was Cali. We was out there.
We was out there.
We was out there. Well, that's actually all the questions that I have for you for this interview. Thank you for coming on this call for the study break. All of you, I hope you enjoyed my first interview with one of our former NSC students, Natasha from Minnesota. I'm also Natasha. Thank you for checking us out. To check out the rest of this video, please go to NSC. Oh, well, actually, to apply to the NSC program, go to nsc.org, or you can check them out on NSC on Instagram. They're on Instagram. They're on YouTube. They're on Facebook.
They're everywhere.
Just check them out and pretty much go out there. Go for the opportunities that you need to go for. Thank you.